What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Cafe and Views. Today we went to Coffee and Coffee and got their Chagaccino. Let's talk about the actual cafe. It's located off of a busy West Hollywood road. If you didn't go down that road, you probably would miss Coffee. It's more of a shack looking coffee shop than an actual true coffee shop on a main road. It's kind of tucked away and it's probably more so for locals. It's not really trying to attract a large crowd of West Hollywood. There's a little bit of seating outside. There's about a table or two that you could just sit and enjoy your coffee. But this coffee shop is meant for just pickup and for you to go elsewhere and enjoy your coffee. The inside is also pretty small. You could probably fit at least 2 or 3 people. It's not meant for a large group. There's nowhere inside that you could sit and enjoy. The menu is also not as extensive as other coffee shops. There's about like 6, 7, 8 different coffees that you can get. Their special is the triple threat, or the actual special, that's what they call it. But I got the Chagaccino just because it's different. It was the most unique and complex looking item on the menu. Let's talk about the Chagaccino. I'm gonna list off all the ingredients that went into the coffee. It's a predominantly mushroom based coffee. They classify this drink as organic. It's chaga, cacao, cinnamon, vanilla, monk fruit, and ethereal sweetener. What this coffee is meant to do is help release stress. It's supposed to boost your immunity, anti-aging, and make yourself more beautiful, elevates endurance, and it also benefits cognitive functions. They recommend almond milk for this coffee, and that's usually what I get, so it worked out. Let's talk about acidity. So when I'm first tasting the coffee, I don't get that huge mushroom taste, but I can definitely tell that it's there. It's kind of as if you were to put sugar on a mushroom, but it doesn't taste real sugary. It doesn't taste like actual sugar was put into the coffee to make it sweeter. It just tastes like a naturally sweet coffee. I'm not getting any of the acidic fruity notes. I'm getting more of the sweeter fruity notes. It is sharp and it is lively. It is gonna put you in the right state of mind. I'm not sure if all the benefits that this coffee says is gonna have, if it actually does that. I believe that having your mentality think that the coffee is more beneficial for you, and as you're drinking it, you're gonna feel better about yourself, and it might be a placebo, but you're gonna go throughout your day feeling like you have more energy, like you can think better, that you're able to perceive things in a right state of mind. It's sweet all throughout. I'm not getting any sour notes at all for acidity. I'm gonna put this coffee at about a 4 out of 5. Let's talk about aroma. Immediately when I'm smelling this coffee, my mood automatically gets enhanced. I feel a lot better. The aroma is really good and it's definitely uplifting me in a big positive way. I'm getting a lot of sweet notes that are coming from the aroma. I can definitely smell the cacao that went into it. The vanilla is not as prominent, but you can definitely tell that it's there. It's giving that sweet vibe. It's extremely pleasant. It's making me go in for more. It's not quite addicting, but it is making me smell it, and in turn it's gonna make me want to keep drinking it and keep tasting it. I am getting the taste based off the smell. All the ingredients that I'm smelling, if I think about it enough, I'm able to taste the little flavors that went into it. It is checking off most of the boxes. It is nutty, it is fruity, it is chocolatey, and I'm also getting a flowery note because of the mushroom. The mushroom taste and the smell is giving off that flowery vibe. You're able to detect all the little ingredients. You're able to pick apart each ingredient and kind of classify it on what it is. Again, you don't have to lean into it to get that prominent smell. You're able to smell it really nice from a good length away. It's gonna get more intense the more you smell the coffee. For aroma, I'm gonna put this coffee at about a 4 out of 5. Next up is gonna be flavor. I'm able to detect all the flavors that went into it, and when it's in my mouth, I'm able to slowly see which ingredients are more prominent and which aren't. I'm getting more of the mushroom and the vanilla that are on the top layers, and then in the middle layers, I'm getting more of that cacao and the sugary sweetener that went into it. And then finally, I'm getting that cinnamon at the end, at the bottom. So it's not as strong, but you can still detect that it's there. So when you're going in to taste the coffee and you can smell it, the flavor is getting enhanced by double. The flavor is great to begin with, But if you open up your senses and actually smell the coffee as you're tasting it, it gives a better overall feeling. It's not forgettable. You're gonna remember this coffee the more you drink it. The further down you go, the more memories you're gonna make about this coffee, and the more you're gonna remember previous experiences in the past, and more so associate the coffee with those experiences. So when you think back later on during the day or during your life, you're gonna remember this coffee because of those memories and because the coffee gets attached to them. Because I'm able to get a lot of different flavors when I'm tasting it, I'm gonna put flavor at about a 4.5 out of 5. So this coffee is giving me a water-like consistency. It's just gliding right off the tongue. It's not sticking to anything. But during that quick experience of being in your mouth, you're able to detect those flavors and smell the coffee. So the coffee's doing a real good job in that short amount of time. If the coffee was thicker, I'm sure that the experience would be even better, that the flavor of the coffee and the texture and the aroma would stick around for a lot longer. Texture is not as prominent. There's nothing complex about it. It's just, it feels like water. It doesn't feel like anything too important. And then the weight is also really light. For body, I'm gonna put this coffee at about a 2 out of 5. Next up is gonna be sweetness. This coffee is sweeter than most coffees. The natural additives in this coffee is doing a real good job at making it the right amount of sweetness. Even the added sugar, it's not making it super sweet to the point where it's like you're eating a candy bar or you're actually drinking a milkshake. That right amount of sweetness that I enjoy. I'm able to just relax and drink the coffee without the sugar masking the flavor. Too much sugar and you're not gonna get the flavor as prominent as you would want it to. Having this coffee be iced, the ice is also taking away from the natural sweetness, so it's also minimizing the intensity of the sugar flavor, so that's also a big bonus. For sweetness, I'm gonna put this coffee at about a 3 out of 5. Next up is gonna be aftertaste. It doesn't dry out your mouth like sour coffees do, but it's also not wetting it to the point of your mouth being wet and your mouth being fulfilled. It's kind of more in the middle point. It's doing its job when it needs to in terms of aroma and flavor, but since it doesn't stick around for a longer period of time and just kind of dissipates quickly, that feeling of it being in your mouth and sticking around and coating it and providing a nice feel is just not there. But it is leaving a basic smooth trail. It is nice and consistent all throughout. You know, if you think about it enough, it is making you want more. It is making you attracted because of the taste and aroma. The feeling of the coffee in your mouth does not have to be there. It's not as prominent as if an aroma or a flavor characteristic should be there. Body and aftertaste is more in the 3rd and 4th place, so it's not as important. You want to focus on the flavor and the aroma more so. And this coffee is checking off those boxes in the first 2. For aftertaste and body, it's kind of being more so in the middle to the bottom tier. In a way, this coffee is dissipating quickly, but it's kind of splitting into 2 when you're swallowing it. You get that watery consistency, that ice water in one side, and then you get the flavor of the coffee on the other, and they're kind of going down hand in hand. So if you think about it, you're able to detect both of those characteristics of both of those flavors and experiences. For aftertaste, I'm gonna put this at a 3 out of 5. Next up is gonna be complexity. The looks of the coffee is not complex. It's still put into a simple cup. It still has that same one color like a lot of coffees do. The presentation is not there, although having the cup be covered so the coffee can't get out when you're walking or moving around, that's a nice plus. I would love for the coffee to be presentable differently because the aroma and the flavor is there. If it was more complex for looks, it would add to it even more. This coffee would be their signature coffee as opposed to the special or the triple threat that they have now. But the taste is complex. All the ingredients that went into the coffee, you're able to detect and you're able to discern what they are and how prominent they are. Because it has so many ingredients, it is giving you a wide range of experiences, and it is making you think about the coffee more so than a lot of other coffees that you might have had. For complexity, I'm gonna put this coffee at about a 4 out of 5. Next up is balance. Balance and complexity are kind of synonymous with each other. This coffee is maintaining that nice balance all throughout. Since this coffee has so many ingredients, it would be hard for the coffee to be balanced in a good way, but this coffee is doing a real good job at balancing those 5-6 ingredients along with the milk. Usually the milk might be more prominent in coffees where they might add it to mask a lot of that intense flavor. Kind of feels like each ingredient was added 20% to make that 100%. It's maintaining that nice solid sweetness all throughout. As I'm drinking the coffee, I'm not getting any sour notes, any sour taste, where a lot of other coffees become more sweet as you get towards the bottom, because that's where the sugar, that's where the additives kind of linger and stick around. For balance, I'm gonna put this coffee at about a 3.5 out of 5. Next up is forgiveness. It's perfectly fine. You don't need to know anything more about the coffee if you didn't need to, because the body and the aftertaste and the consistency and balance, that's all not as relevant as the flavor in the coffee. So I am gonna forgive those characteristics because the aroma and the flavor, it's so good. The flavor and the aroma, it's actually above average in terms of the characteristics and the points that it got. For forgiveness, I'm gonna put this coffee at about a 4 out of 5. Lastly, it's gonna be versatility. Normally, I would say that this coffee deserves more of a special occasion, more so when you're trying to look at the West LA city, or you're trying to relax on a nice spring summer day. Because it's so toned down and none of the sweetness is becoming real prominent or over the top, this coffee is going to be versatile. You are going to be able to grab this whenever you want to, during the day, during the night, on the weekends, weekdays. So it's your choice if you want to leave the nice aroma and flavor to the weekend, to special occasions, to maybe once a week, but you're also able to grab this 5 times a week, once a week, whenever you want to. For me personally, I'm probably gonna grab this once a week just so I can still enjoy that nice flavor and aroma that it's giving off. For versatility, I'm gonna put this at about a 4 out of 5. All in all, the Chagaccino from Coffee got a 36 out of 50 or a 72 out of 100. Thank you so much for watching Cafe and Views, where we went to Coffee and got the Chagaccino. Tune in for season 3, where we're going to a different area and trying out their 9 best coffee shops and their 9 best coffees. Peace.